Like, what are we doing?
Corey Graves, the ignorant slut. Cannot pronounce the word coup de grace. He says coup de grace.
Welcome back to This Is a Takeover. My name is David Hensley. I'm the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I am here tonight to introduce your host, Shelby Death Ray Patterson.
Thank you, David, and welcome to This Is a Takeover. I'm Shelby Ray Patterson.
And I'm Gina Brafford.
And we're here to talk about NXT Stand and Deliver 2024.
Hey, y'all, hey.
But first off, how you doing, Gina?
I'm fantastic, Shelby. How are you?
I'm good. I'm here.
That was me yesterday. I feel that.
And it's not, okay, it's not in a negative sense. It's just, I feel like we said this last year when we covered WrestleMania weekend. It is just so jam-packed with so much stuff going on.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that Stand and Deliver was on the same day as night one of WrestleMania just shows you how much content this company is willing to put out there in a week. And because remember when Stand and Deliver had its own day?
Yeah, it was
the
Friday, right?
It was the Saturday before the
because that's right, because it was only one day.
Yes, so once we got our day taken away from us,
can't have nothing nice.
We're squished on the same day as night one. Now, granted, it was still, I think they said it was the most attended takeover in NXT history.
In NXT history. They did indeed say that.
Over 16,000 people, which is just awesome. When you think about it in the grand scheme and in the scope of NXT as a whole, like we were just happy to be here, guys. Like we were just
truly our motto.
We were just happy to like have a space on the network when the WWE network was a thing over here in the US. Like I've heard over in other countries, like in UK and some other countries, the network is still a thing.
Oh.
Because my channel that I love and talk about all the time, Wrestle Talk.
Oh.
Guys, if you are actually listening to this, one, I would die, and two,
I think she would.
Please
Deceased.
reach out because I talk about you guys all the time. But you put out really good content.
I was ready to talk about Wrestle League later, but
we'll
I can't
get
even
there.
blame y'all. It's my fault.
No, you definitely need to tell that story. It's hilarious.
I will.
But so they still watch all of everything basically on the network as far as like pay-per-views and stuff goes.
Oh, I was gonna say, do they have the story time with Mean Gene Okerlund and all that?
I don't know what's all on there.
I sure do miss that, genuinely.
I do remember that. Was that the little cartoon show?
Yes. So wrestlers would send in little things, and then they would
I liked
animate
the
it.
Randy Orton one.
Yeah, where he got bit by the rattlesnake.
Yeah,
because he's a dummy.
Yes. Anyway, that's
all right, good times.
A throwback to when we had the network over here.
Well, it was like 2018.
Oh yeah, 20. Well, I want to say that was because I was in college, so that was like early WWE network days. So like 2011, 2012. Yeah, I know we're old, girl. We're old. Anyway, but yeah, so they still get to watch it on the network, which means they don't get all of the Peacock ads and stuff. Because we watch their feed. We like their
but
commentary
they also
theme
are
feed.
at like 3 a.m. though.
They are.
So
you either get Peacock ads at a normal regular time over here, or you get no Peacock ads and like a bunch of promo shit at 2 a.m. So I don't really know which one's worse.
If I was over there with them, that would be the bomb.
2 a.m. at a pub in the UK. Hell yeah. I would, with a bunch of wrestling fans.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. I'd be down
like
for
a
it.
blast.
That needs to be on our bucket list of like, we need to figure out how to do that. But first off, before we get started, I want you to shout out what wine we're drinking and where we got it from. Because we're going local here, guys.
Tonight we are drinking a La Vie.
Why are you doing it like that?
ASMR.
Why? No, we are not that kind of channel. That is not our demographic. And you know how much I hate Whisper.
It's about to be.
Oh my God, David. Producer David in our ears making my skin crawl.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, but no.
Brand new marketing.
Oh my gosh. I was so close to saying the word. Damn it. And then I started laughing. Go for it.
So tonight we are drinking a La Vie. I'm just so French. La Vie Femme. I can't. I'm so sorry.
Please pardon our Carolina accent.
Please, I'm so sorry. It's the one language I really am not good at. And so this is a French wine, but we got it from a local store in Rock Hill, which just opened up downtown a little while ago. It's called Green Space.
Yes, it is an awesome plant shop and wine bar.
Y'all, I'm not even a plant person.
It's off of Main Street in Rock Hill, South Carolina. It is really, really fun.
Yes.
That is the whitest thing I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
And us two white bitches love it. Okay.
Yes.
It is so much fun.
I'm going back and buying that disco ball plant holder hanger.
Yeah.
When it comes out.
Planter.
Yes. You know what that makes? Can you tell I don't plant stuff?
You know,
I'm so sorry, Mom.
Anyway, we're not going to harp on it too much, but we just wanted to shout them out because they're a brand new shop that just opened up here in town.
Yes.
And we need to get back into doing our local business plugs. Because we did that for Main Street Bottle Shop for a while when we were in downtown. But now that we have our awesome studio out here, it's a little bit harder to get stuff. So we need to do that some more.
Amelie's, do you want to sponsor us?
Oh my God, Amelie's, if you would sponsor us
us.
and just give us all of the macaroons and the tarts and all of the goodness.
Caramel brownie. Anywho. Shut up, David. I don't need that face.
Well, once again, you're veering very closely into a very different kind of podcast.
Okay. Good thing that we have a window in between us now. I can't throw shit at him anymore.
No chancla.
By design.
Damn it. He knew what he was doing.
Yes, we are in the process of building this awesome studio. It's already amazing. But
we
David,
have a wall and door.
We have a door.
And a window.
It's amazing. We trying to stop all of the noise from coming in, which is already helping so much. But yeah, David, I think it's probably by design that he put this window in to separate us.
Mm-hmm. I will neither confirm nor deny.
I think that did confirm it indeed.
Oh, well.
I plead the fifth.
I will find a way to throw something at you. I will figure it out.
There's no roof. We can still go up.
I was about to say, well, right now it still doesn't have a roof. Right now it's just four walls. Charles and I, so friend of the pod, Charles Holmes and I have been working on this on and off whenever we've had time. So we have got the supports for a roof. They're right over there.
Yeah, I see them. Yes.
And we've got we've got roofing right over here.
I see that too.
But so right now, if you arced it just right, you could probably get one over the wall and onto me.
Hey, there's a screw on the table.
If my aim was anything close to being good, I would be okay. But I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just wanted to shout them out just because
Green Space.
It's a really cool local spot. You should go check them out if you're local. If not, find them. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other versions of that out.
They have a great Instagram.
Yes,
they have really great Instagram.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, so we're getting back into our what are we drinking?
It is by the way, a lovely rosé.
For
those
very
at
tasty.
home who are interested in that.
Well, let's go ahead and get into the show, shall we?
Absolutely.
All right. So we actually had a pre-show match, which really threw me off again. I'm telling you all. I am not used to having pre-show matches.
We get a call, like my husband and I, Robert, are on the way to the house. And she's like, it started again. It started early. I thought it was 12. And we both freaked because we're like, oh, no, we did this right. We looked it up. And then I was like staring at the screen and Robert goes, oh, this is the pre-show.
What the fuck, y'all? You need to communicate better if y'all are going to have a match on the pre-show because this girl over here has things to get in order before she goes and watches
We don't even have our wine yet. What are we doing?
That's the tagline of this show. You should know.
I haven't said that in forever.
So, I was not ready. I was not ready. My little girl was down for a nap. I was like, have some quiet time. I was reading my book. And then I was like, you know what? I'll just like turn on the pre-show, has some like talking heads in the background. No, I turn on is halfway through fucking Sean Spears and Joe Gacy. And so thankfully it was the pre-show and was able to go back and watch it. But Peacock now has a lovely feature where you cannot pause the live feed and you cannot rewind the live feed.
Nope. And you have to wait until the next day to watch.
I'm just saying, I understand money is money, but like,
If this is a streaming service, then why am I not able to stream it? If that's what it is, if I'm buying a TV channel, if I'm buying cable,
I can understand if you can't like pause live TV, but like on every other cable network now, you can do that.
Yeah,
and you used
excuse.
to be able to do that on Peacock. So I don't know if they've like changed something with their tiers or whatever, because your girl got the cheapest tier. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not paying for those like top tiers.
Are you guys saying that one of you would like to talk to their manager?
I don't have the right haircut.
Do not associate me with those people. Okay? The wheeze that just came out of me. Not that stereotypical white lady drinking her rosé
In red Solo cups.
because we're classy.
Anyhow.
But yeah, so I don't know how did you feel about this match, because I had thoughts.
I feel bad because truthfully, I did not get to go back and watch it. And as you said, we were kind of like setting up and getting ready. And I feel like they touted Spears so much, and then suddenly now he's just going to be on the opener.
Yeah, so basically Shawn Spears has come back to WWE. He was able to keep his name in AEW instead of going back to Ty Dillinger, which is such a way better name. Shawn Spears is way better than Ty Dillinger. And thankfully he doesn't have to do his perfect 10 gimmick that he was doing when he left.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, his big thing was that he was the perfect 10, and he literally like held up 10 fingers like a 10-year-old telling you how old he is. Like that was, no offense, Shawn Spears, but it was not the best gimmick. But this
but
one,
he knew that too.
But this one's a lot better, and I can kind of see that the people that they are bringing in, so say Shawn Spears, Brian Pillman Jr. is a little bit different because I think he wanted to revamp himself.
Yeah. And Lord did he.
Jesus Christ.
I sure forgot who he was for a
Totally just took a bat and just swang to left field on that one. But I feel like they've done that with, Cody, obviously. That was the first one. Yeah. But then with a couple other people that have come over from either New Japan or from AEW who have left and come back, they have been able to keep whatever it is that they've established. And that's one of the things which they told us multiple times throughout the entire weekend, that this is a new era.
Sure is.
We are in the Triple H era, which it's fine, but like you don't have to tell me like 50,000 times. Like I already understand.
And I have some feelings about that, but
yeah. But I have, it's just really strange how he has come back to NXT.
Yes.
Which maybe that was his choice. I don't know. But he's come back, and then he started something with Ridge Holland because he was the one that attacked him and started a feud with him. Then that fizzled out real quickly.
Fast.
And then Ridge Holland came out and was like, I've injured so many people, and I'm going to leave now.
I'm going to do what you all want me to do.
And leave. Yeah. And so he basically was like, deuces, I'm out. And then what happened at the beginning of this match just kind of undid all of that.
Oh, really?
Because he attacked Joe Gacy before the match. So he attacked him.
Oh, now
at
that's
NXT.
making sense of what happened yesterday.
Yes.
Now I understand.
Yes. So that's the part that you missed in the beginning.
Understood.
But Gacy still comes out after being attacked and then still beats Shawn Spears. So Shawn Spears lost to a man that got jumped backstage. I'm sorry.
That makes him look bad.
I don't say this a lot about wrestlers and how they're pushed, but that makes him look so weak.
And he just got here, and they were touting him and flaunting him, and
it was a fine match. Like, it was okay because Shawn Spears is a good wrestler, but I do not understand where they're going with this. Like,
I felt that a couple of times here in this pay-per-view specifically.
Sure, yeah.
With a couple of other people, not even just them. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about that later, but I definitely feel like that was a theme throughout.
Yeah, I just feel like it was a really weird way to reintroduce Shawn back into WWE, and also a weird way to further the feud with Gacy and Ridge.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to do a retirement, like fake out or work or whatever you want to call it, have it be for longer than a week.
Yeah.
You know, like he literally just did it the NXT before the pay-per-view, or
Yeah.
at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might have been 2, but still, that's still not enough time, in my opinion, to sow the seeds of like, okay,
Yeah,
he's
no.
gone. And then all of a sudden you just show up backstage. If it had been like 2 months from now,
Yes.
and or 2 months ago, and you
Yes.
had done that angle, and then you came back at Stand and Deliver and attacked Joe Gacy backstage, and then
That would
somehow
make
made it a
sense.
triple threat,
Yeah.
right?
But with him not wrestling, that's weird.
But also having it be on the pre-show where like notoriously people don't watch and
Yeah.
don't know what's going on during those matches.
Yeah.
It's a really weird spot.
Do you think they put Ridge there for a reason?
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what's real and what's not with this storyline, because they are playing it so close to real life.
Well, I meant with the reaction of the crowd.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, because he is and has truly gotten real heat
Real heat, y'all.
ever
Like,
since the Big E
I wouldn't be
injury.
surprised if like real letters and hate mail were sent to him.
Well, yeah, because he basically potentially permanently injured
Yeah.
one of like the roster's most beloved
Yes.
baby faces.
Just
You know, like just again, freak accident and
Freak
out of your
accident.
control, but still like
Yeah.
it's still just
like look,
it's really bad circumstances.
NXT, look, I get it. Like if we had to describe NXT crowds, you're Scorpios. You hold on to shit
you do.
and you don't let go. And that's great in some instances. Like shout out WrestleMania, how everyone was singing, "Hey Bailey." Appreciated that.
Did.
But come on, y'all. Like we know what happened. It's terrible. But death threats, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Get better than this.
I think that they may be playing this
I hope so.
super close to what's going on in real life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of blurring.
Yeah.
You
Where's
don't
the reality?
Right. And in some instances that can be fine. And I think, obviously it's going to go forward and we can unpack it later.
Yes.
But like it'll be interesting going forward what they do with both Spears and Gacy, because Gacy ends up winning in this match. I mean, again, fine match, but like I gave it a 3 because I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Right. Like even when I went back and watched it and saw it from start to finish, I still had no idea what the story
that's
was.
rough.
Like it felt like Sean was just kind of thrown into this, and it should have been Ridge and Gacy because Ridge went and was on commentary during the match.
Yeah.
So
After beating him up.
yes. Again, I just don't know where they're
What are
going
y'all
with
doing?
this. I don't
Who's
think
smoking back there?
I don't think they know. I don't. Somebody got something from somebody's brother, and they have no idea what they smoked. So
I'm so glad I didn't spray that wine everywhere.
But yeah, I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
It was
Especially-
okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. But even with what happened, last night, it still doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah.
With whether they're
Be
going
interesting going forward what happens.
Jekyll and Hyde? Question mark? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so the first match on the main card was the NXT Tag Team Championship, which was the Wolf Dogs. Baron, actual name.
David Head Tilt.
Actual name. Did not make that up.
Nope. That's the best they could do.
Which is Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, which I do love this team, but versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
I love Axiom. I love Nathan Frazier. I was really surprised. I also thought it was weird. That's a Tuesday thing. We'll get to that later. But yeah,
I just think this match was just whoa. I just wrote whoa. Because Nathan Frazier and Axiom together are a team, because they had these awesome, best 2 out of 3, matches. And they're both these high flyer guys who do all the flippy shit, and it's like really fun.
Amazing.
Putting them together, you wouldn't think, because you have 2 high flyers, like usually tag team partners are either you have like one ground and pounder and one high flyer, and like you can kind of like play off of each other that way. But like having two high flyers to me is so interesting.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I do too.
I love them together.
I do too. And then you have Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, who knows why they were put together. I still don't know why they were put together. It was one of those Dusty Rhodes tag team classics, like a Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, right? Like they were the the ones who won it the first time, and you're like, huh? What? Like you guys are actually in the main event scene. Like, what are we doing over here?
Yeah.
Which is the same thing with this one. But Braun Breaker moved the ring.
Yo.
He actually moved the ring.
And I'm not talking like not to the degree of like, what was it, Brock, when he lifted up, or was it like with a tractor?
That was with like a forklift type thing.
But I'm serious, y'all. Go back and watch it. This man, when he hits the ropes with his back, you physically see the entire like ring move to the right.
And it did not move for any other move for the rest of the show. Not even just the match. It was for the rest of the show.
Like, I know they were bullshitting about like the actual speed, but I kind of am wondering now, like, I kind of want to get one of those speedometers and be like, bro, do it again. I want to see how fast you go.
Well, because when he
26 miles per hour, my ass.
He was I'm just saying it's becoming more and more plausible.
I know.
Because when he was running the ropes, he ran them twice.
Yeah.
And when he came back the fourth time to hit the rope, that's when it moved.
It was like,
and you could see that everybody in the ring would like had the look of like, but duh,
like
and then they had to keep going.
Yeah,
because he kept going. He just kept running, and I'm like, I really really like him, and I'm so happy that I do now because I was not on board for him at first.
His NXT 2.0 era is over.
Thank God, because this is an instance where I'm really glad that they waited to bring him up.
Agreed.
Because I think he benefited from having a heel run. He had a babyface run, and then he had a heel run, and then now he's kind of
really been working on his talking
with Corbin, and has really gotten better on the mic, and it's just overall just a lot better. Yes. So I think that benefited, and I mean, I thought it was kind of strange that Axiom and Nathan Frazier did not win on this pay-per-view because they ended up winning at the next NXT taping.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because I saw a video. I don't know, because I don't remember this last night. If it was, sorry, listeners. Braun Breaker had a speech.
So it was after the cameras went off?
That's what, okay.
Yeah, so this
you
was
saw this.
The footage that you saw was from an outside camera that was affiliated with WWE, but it's one of those, like, once the main cameras and the TV cameras go off, then this one stays on. So he basically comes out, right? And he announces essentially that he's going to SmackDown.
Without saying it. Yeah. But yes, the whole time he's like,
he thanks the crowd.
I thank you. Yeah. When I was with 2.0, I thank Baron Corbin. He's like an actual friend now. And I was like, he's getting called up. He's already gone. That's why he had to win it. So then that's why they had to abandon it on Tuesday.
Yeah, but like, why not drop it at the main, on the main card of a pay-per-view? That part doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't, because the other thing was that the way that they tried to bring it back, like to make it fit for Tuesday, was that it was like this freaking NXT. I don't know why you're in your stipulation era. You need to let it go. It's stupid, because unless you're going to do it right, like, don't do it at all, because Axiom and Nathan Frazier are not going to break up anytime soon.
Yeah.
Don't make that a stipulation where clearly we all know that Braun is the one leaving. Like, that's dumb. Like, don't treat us like we're stupid.
Well, and I think we're in an era now where, like, we all know more of what goes on behind the scenes and what happens. Especially in NXT, they have a formula. Like, most of the time when somebody drops a belt who is rumored to be leaving, they thank the crowd. Usually the crowd is in on it, because usually before the cameras even go off, they're chanting, "Thank you, Braun," or "Thank you, whoever," because the crowd already knows that they're leaving.
crazy.
Right? So that's kind of been the tradition in NXT because it's always had the developmental mindset of that you're not here forever.
Yep.
Right? So even in the heyday of it being its third brand, it was still not, it wasn't the end all be all. It ended up being that for some people who wanted to stay there forever, which those people ended up not staying there forever anyway. Right? All those people that said that I'm a ride or die black and gold person, some of them are already on Raw or SmackDown, or they've left the company entirely. So,
well, when it wasn't just black and gold anymore.
Right, but
anyway,
but that's different though, because I feel like even during those times, it was still that mentality.
Yeah,
right.
No, that's true.
This is not your forever home, right? You are always going to leave.
Yeah.
So the crowd is usually always in on it, and if they kind of know that that person is leaving and they drop a belt, or they lose a match, they will start that chant. Yeah, and it is kind of eerily canny how accurate the crowd can be sometimes. Yeah. Because this was, I remember, like for Asuka, it was so...
Really?
Like, because Asuka never lost the NXT title, technically. She relinquished it because they wanted her to go up. They wanted her to move up so quickly that they didn't have time for it to play out story-wise.
Dang.
So she literally just vacated the belt.
That's crazy.
But the crowd picked up on it during the episode. So when she came out in her full dress, like no, not ring gear, but like business casual Asuka, right? Like nice dress and heels, and then everybody in the locker room comes out, the crowd's already chanting, "Thank you, Asuka." You know, because they can pick up on it because that's just the mentality, right? So
remember that. Don't pretend we're dumb.
Right. So that's going off of what you're saying. Like in this case in particular, they just cut the cameras off enough in time. Yeah. Right. Because it's the same thing. They come out, they thank the crowd, they thank them for getting their start and blah, blah, blah. I'm happy that he is going to go, and I'm also happy that they have made him drop the belt. Yes. Because I still think that those belts need to stay down at NXT. Yes. Right? Like when we had that experiment when we had Dominic who had it for a long time. Sure, that was fun and that was fine, but right. If you're going to have, it's the same with a Raw or same with the SmackDown belt. You need to be on that show to defend it, right? And North American title's a little bit different, but when you have like the NXT tag team titles, those need to stay on the show.
That's like bare minimum, like
right, which is why they made Indy drop the belt right after she won it, right? Because you're not going to take the women's NXT title onto SmackDown.
Well, they hinted at that actually.
Yeah, but I don't think they're
no, I know they're not going to do it, but I think that it was hilarious that they called it out. We'll talk about that later in the other match.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I gave this a 3.5 because I did enjoy it. Yeah, I just wish that like they could have given Nathan Fraser and Axiom that moment to win it at the pay-per-view. Yes, versus winning it on a random show.
Or the one right after.
Yeah, but it's still a show, exactly. Right? Like
it's not the same crowd that's watching.
You don't have the 16,000 plus people cheering for you as you win. You have the Full Sail crowd, which is still a good crowd, but it's not the same. Yeah, you know. No. But yeah, so now we move on to my favorite of the show, the North American Championship match with Obafemi versus Josh Briggs versus Dijak.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
I wasn't sure about Obafemi, and I even said this at the beginning of this match. I was like, I know nothing about this kid. I've even watched the show. I watched the show. I have no idea who this guy is.
He's big and skimpy.
He is big and skimpy, right? And they chant for him, and so he has a crowd behind him, but I still don't know much about this guy.
He's a big scary monster.
Dude is insane.
He's crazy, y'all.
He lifted both Briggs and Dijak on his shoulders and then did a fall away slam.
That's dumb.
At first I thought it was a Death Valley driver, and then I was like, no, that would be insane. because Death Valley
That would be terrifying.
That's what I said it in the beginning. I was like, he just did a Death Valley driver with 2 people on his shoulders. I'm like, no, Shelby, that's really stupid. That's physically impossible to do that because you have to do basically a cartwheel.
Oh my
to do that move. And then I went back and watched it and I was like, oh, that's just a slam. But that's okay.
Hey,
it still looked cool.
Impressive as hell, nonetheless.
But the crowd was super into this.
Yes.
And I think it told such a well, executed story, which I feel like a lot of these matches did that, but this one
was the best out of them all, I think.
Yes.
But I will say, when I first originally saw this, on the lineup, I was like, oh, poor Briggs. And then I was mistaken. I took it back. I surely did. I was ill prepared.
His little Sons of Anarchy ass. I'm sorry.
That's where he's from, right? Isn't that literally his gimmick?
Yeah. I think it's so funny because he went from him and I think it's Brooks Jensen, which such a Gen Z name. I'm so sorry for Gen Z listeners, but Brooks Jensen.
Yeah.
That is such a Zoomer name. I just I love it and I hate it at the same time. Yep. When you have 2 last names as your first and last name, that's just really hard for me to separate it. But so they had them together and they were the rough and tough country bar
they had
guys.
Fallon Henley.
Yes.
Hey, I remember the name.
There you go.
I did it.
You even said it with the accent.
Had Fallon Henley.
But yeah, so they had them together as a trio and then they broke apart. Mm-hmm. And now he's doing the Sons of Anarchy, legit has Men of Mayhem on his vest. And at first I was like, oh, you silly boy. Why are we doing this?
Bless your heart.
And then I saw him and I'm like, oh. Okay.
I understand.
I get it.
Uh-huh.
And he really held his own
He sure did.
in this match. And I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. And sometimes, in triple threat matches, it can be, okay, so now the 2 of us are going to be in the ring. And the third person is off to the outside.
I was worried he was going to be the left out one.
Yeah, but no.
Nah.
And there was at one point where...
I actually felt Obafemi was the one that was left out sometimes.
Yeah. I'm excited for the feud between Briggs and Dijak now.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Because since Oba retained, that's kind of naturally where I feel like they should go because Briggs cost Dijak the match.
Well, Briggs might be out for a little bit.
I
don't
heard.
know if it's kayfabe or not, but homeboy broke 2 ribs.
2 ribs.
Oh.
During this
Could you
match.
imagine, the pain of working through that?
I'm just saying, I have I don't know what's going on with my foot right now, but I tweaked it or something this afternoon, and I'm limping. I can only imagine breaking 2 ribs and still going forward with something physical like that.
You're in your 30s.
Shut up, David. Not everybody has to know that.
Shut up.
According to everybody listening, I'm 25.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I'm 23.
But yeah,
Then I totally am too.
Yes.
In our hearts, we are.
What did we say earlier? We are just constantly in our 20s, in our minds. But yeah, I can't imagine going
Just breathing.
right.
Just breathing.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like it hurts. Let alone wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm just contemplating, can I even breathe?
I mean, it just goes. I mean, the example that pops into my head obviously is the one with Finn.
Oh.
When he separated his shoulder 5 minutes into the Universal title match with Seth. And finishes the match and wins the match.
And then for years later, oh, be careful. That's his shoulder. Don't mess with him on that shoulder.
I would not be a good wrestling wife if I didn't do that.
We need to do an update about that later at the end of the show.
Who our husbands are?
They've adjusted.
That's true.
We haven't talked about that in a while.
We haven't. We will
come
stay tuned,
back.
listeners. We will give you an update on our wrestling relationship statuses. But yeah, I hopefully we wish you a speedy recovery, Briggs.
Yes,
but
please.
I think it'll be interesting because he could definitely work through that. Not saying that he needs to wrestle, but they could build up that story
Yes.
backstage and stuff.
I mean, there's
before
nothing
they
you can
actually
really
wrestle.
do for a broken rib anyway.
Nope, you just gotta let it like.
you just
Sorry,
gotta-
the word that came to my mind was just fuse back together.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's just gotta kind of grow again.
Yeah, but like
connect.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not a,
We're talking like we know, like we're doctors and know how bones work.
it's not like we can graft it. They can't graft it. Shut up, David. Your judgment is so loud.
We can hear it through the window.
He's beat red.
Yeah. But anyway, the way that this match ends is you have Femi lifts, or I said, yeah, he lifts them up on their holding his shoulders
Yes.
and does the slam. But Dijak does like the crazy like spinning heel kick that he does.
So cool.
But it's like, it's one of those that like, it looks silly at first because like,
Yeah.
why are you spinning? But like, they
What
spin,
are you doing?
They spin all the way around and then it's like a discus lariat. That's what it's called.
Yes.
But this is like a discus big boot.
Yes.
Is what they call it. So he spins around and then like
Just bam.
kicks him in the face.
Right in the face.
So he does that and then does 2 Feast Your Eyes on Obafemi, which is just
Great
this
name.
awesome. Basically, it's like a GTS,
Yeah.
but he calls it Feast Your Eyes because he,
That's fair.
has him up on the shoulders and then flips him
does
over
a
to
flip and then bam.
has their face hit his knee. It's the same thing as a GTS, but
Ouch.
he just calls it different. And he's a very, very tall man,
He's a big.
so that's
big,
a long way to fall.
Yeah.
So he does 2 of those on Obafemi and then goes for the pin, and then Josh Briggs pulls him out of the ring.
I picked him on my Wrestle League.
I did too. And so I was
Even
so
though it didn't
mad.
accept it. Well,
I was so mad. But yeah, so that kind of devolves into the end of the match, and Femi retains. But
yes.
I mean, I gave this a 4.5.
I was gonna say 4.5 for Eagles as well,
Dude,
it was such a good match.
This was my match of the night.
yeah,
Because I loved it. I loved how they worked together, and I'm excited to see kind of where Obafemi goes and who's
Absolutely.
going to come up next, and then kind of where Josh and Dijak are going to go.
This was the
after.
most interesting story and set
yeah.
up for the next stories.
Definitely. So next we have the 6-woman tag match with Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and Kalani Jordan versus JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dame. What did you think of this one?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is sad. I love Thea Hale.
Well, yeah, but in my mind, this should not have been a 6-woman tag.
Why was it a
You
six-woman
just needed
tag?
it to be
Those-
Thea and
yeah.
JC because you had been.
Why was it not a singles match?
I don't know. This was the last one that was added to the card.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know if they thought that maybe they didn't have enough story to go off of. But you've been kind of playing JC and Thea against each other for a
time.
while now, and now that they've broken up and are like hate each other.
Yeah.
I don't see why you couldn't have just had them in a singles match.
This is where, in my opinion, this is the worst storytelling, I think, in this card. Because not only that, but watching last night, we're recording on Wednesday after a NXT. It just, they don't know what to do. They don't. Mm-hmm. They do not know what to do. And it was very obvious. Like, I was thinking it during the pay-per-view, but really watching Tuesday, I was like, y'all have no idea what to do now. And that's rough.
I have a theory.
Okay.
So, and not an Austin theory. I knew that's what you were going to say.
It was
Damn it,
out of my mouth.
I know you. It's like I've known you for a decade or something. Anyway, so my theory with that is at the end of this match, we have the announcement that we have the new women's North American title.
Finally!
Which, just letting you listeners know, Shelby Ray Patterson cried.
Absolutely.
I did, because you know why I cried? Because I have been on this soapbox ever since we started this show.
At this point, it's not even one box. I would say that it's a mound of soap.
I have been preaching this to anybody who will listen.
Uh-huh.
When we got the women's tag titles, I said, that's not it.
No.
That is not what we need.
That's
what
not
we
what we
need
wanted.
is another singles title that the women can go for. If you're
Yes.
going to build up this women's division like you say that you want to,
Yeah,
and you keep adding all these women, you need to give them something else to fight for.
You're right.
Besides just a women's title and a tag title where they have to get thrown together with some hodgepodge team that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I have been saying it to
Kalani James is cool.
basically anyone who will listen to me that this has needed to happen.
For a
I
long
even
time.
said turn the fucking cruiserweight belt into a women's belt.
You did say
Right?
that. You
I
did.
said, or at least have the women fight for it, because basically all of that division at that time, now it's diversified a lot
it's
since
grown.
then.
It's grown.
But at the time that I was saying that, all
There
of them
was-
would have been in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah. Well, that also
Right?
was when everything was cut.
That's what I mean.
And the 205 Live wasn't a thing and all
So I was
that,
like, you're not using it anymore. So
Let us use it.
Might as well have the women use it, right? So when this was announced, I legit, like, everybody was like cheering and like clapping. I was silent in my chair and I was crying.
Yep.
Like I just was like, this means so much to be able to have the women have another actual belt to fight for.
Yes.
Because I don't count those tag titles, because we didn't even get to keep those tag titles. They got moved up to the main roster.
So dumb.
Because for those of you who don't know, the women's tag team titles that are on the main roster right now were originally the NXT women's tag titles.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Did you know that, listeners? Because that's stupid.
So we haven't had anything for ages. And so my theory with them not knowing what to do with them, I think the new women's North American title will change that.
They're going to set that up.
Because you have this, everyone who was on this match you could see them as the women's mid card,
Yes.
right? And that is what the North American title is. It's a mid card belt.
Yes.
So when you can only have so many people going for the main title, right? So like when you have this mid card of women, you don't always need to put them in tag matches.
Yes.
So even though there wasn't a belt to fight for this, you could have just had Thea and JC in a singles match, and I think it would have been okay.
It would have been
the
fine.
story might not have been as solid, but you would
it
have
already kinda
at
wasn't.
least had something more solid than throwing these women together and just basically playing off of JC and Thea.
Exactly. That's all. That's like everybody fed off of that. That's all they had. It's like when you know, like a pigeon looking for any scraps, it's like that's all they get. Like,
Right, and they're happy with what they get.
Yeah,
but like,
'cause
you could have more
bread.
right?
And
Yeah,
then they're like-
bread, but you could have meat.
like on
right?
one bench, there's a lady like giving like little crumbs, and then down the street, there's a lady who's giving like full like sirloin steaks. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you could have bread, or you could have meat.
Or you could have steak.
Right. So
What, David?
This has been Bread and Birds by Shelby and Gina. Thank you very much for listening.
I thought it was a good analogy.
I don't think that's a pigeon noise.
Nope, that's not. That's a crow.
There we go.
There you go. But I am hoping that with the addition of this title, it will kind of clear up all of that. I'm just happy that we have it.
Yes.
And
It is beautiful.
it is very pretty.
It is gorgeous.
I've always loved the North American title anyway,
Yes.
with the red strap and the gold plates and everything. So with this being a white
It looks
belt,
nice.
it looks like the old IC title. Yeah. And it looks very, very pretty.
sleek.
But yeah, I gave this a 3.
Yeah.
It just
I don't even remember
it didn't really
a lot.
have much going for it. And,
Yeah.
But you need a blow off match, right? When you have
This is sadly the popcorn and drink.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you need something to kind of cool everybody off before you get into
Back
the
into
next
the-
like
yeah.
title matches and stuff. So I get it.
Crazy-ish.
But yeah, I just wish it could have been better because all of the women in this match were great.
Yes.
But it just didn't make much sense. So next is the NXT Women's Championship match with Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez.
I have strong feelings about this.
You do?
I do.
Oh no. What feelings do you have?
Technically, it works out. Like, technically, they are great wrestlers.
Yes. And this was a more technical match
Yes.
than most of the matches on
Than
this
a
card.
lot of the matches on this card.
Yeah.
she's just too damn cute.
She's adorable. She's trying her
It's like me in my
damnedest.
middle school years when I played Amber Von Tussle in Hairspray.
And you listened to Fall Out Boy once and you thought you were emo?
All American Rejects, baby.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Fall Out Boy was too hard for you,
No,
I guess.
didn't. Fall Out Boy was like high school.
Yeah.
I had to grow. I had to get there.
You had to grow. Oh my gosh. I mean, I can't say much. I was that one
Dirty little secret.
that sat in my car with my windows rolled down ever so slightly in my high
Just
school
enough.
parking lot,
Just enough.
blaring like May Day parade and shit, thinking
Like-
I was like the coolest.
Let's just say, like, my blasting was Speak Now album.
Oh man,
That was the
that
only
makes sense.
Swift. The only Tay Swift I liked.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Anywho.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, just because she is adorable, right? But I applaud what she's trying to do.
Yes.
And she really is leaning into it. And I think
She is giving it her all.
it's the thing with Bailey, right?
Which,
And
congratulations, babe.
yes, congratulations, dear.
Congrats, babe.
So it's like when Bailey turned heel, and my life changed forever. It was
And now she's back.
yes and no.
Yeah.
Like we're still Aunt Bailey, but like we're
Vigilante
we
Bailey.
smile now, like it's better. But she kind of is suffering a little bit with what happened to Bailey in the beginning of her heel turn. People were so invested in Bailey being the hugger and being the one that little girls dressed up like,
Yeah.
and they grew their hair out so they could put their hair in a high pony just like her. And Roxanne kind of suffers from that because when Bailey turned, it broke so many people's brains,
Including yours.
including mine, but it, like a lot of people's,
Yeah.
because they were just like, I cannot see you
Yeah.
any other way than what has been presented to me,
Yeah.
because it fits you so well.
Yes.
Right. This is the same with Roxanne. Like she has the look, she has the voice, she has the personality to be this baby face that you just want to hug.
Yeah.
Right.
Bless her heart.
And
Genetics.
when she has made this turn and this flip, you can put all of the red lipstick on that you want.
You can put all the smoky eyeshadow, babes.
You can make it look like you've been punched in the eye with the smoky eye.
Yeah.
But like it is very difficult because she has this cutesy little voice that is hard for her to kind of turn off.
It's not even that. I'm going to go as far as saying you could not scowl in your promo picture. You couldn't make a stank face.
I think that was her stank face.
Oh, honey.
Yeah, I do. And I think the more that she leans into it, though, and the more she doesn't give up on it, the more people are going to get on board with it. Because that's what happened with Bailey. Everybody eventually, because Bailey turned into the leader of Damage Control, and then established themselves as a heel faction.
Yes.
So I think
Haley's been...
if she stays with it, I think that it can work.
Yeah.
I just hope that when she does go up to the main roster that she can keep it.
Yeah.
Which I think in this era she will, but I just think that, you know, it doesn't affect the wrestling, thank goodness, because this match was fantastic.
The match was fantastic. Technically, it was beautiful. Lyra Valkyria, I love that woman. She is unfreaking real.
It was technical mat wrestling.
Gorgeous.
Like there was lots of rest holds, there was lots of submission holds. Like there was a lot of, because we had seen a lot of high flying, a lot of like high paced or fast paced wrestling. So this kind of took it down a bit, and I think the crowd was kind of like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
But then once it got, it picked up a little bit. They started to get into it, but. I mean, they told a really good story with Lyra's arm.
Yes.
So she worked over the arm the whole match. So psychology with that was really good. But yeah, I feel like it's not that she's trying too hard.
It's just she's not there yet.
So I think I wrote down, it's like she's trying too hard to be a heel, but the crowd wanted her to win that title by the end of the match.
And then they were confused and giving off like confused like vibes up until the end.
Right. And then, I mean, they exploded when she won.
Yeah.
Which, in the story that they're trying to tell, that's not the outcome that she wanted for the end of that match.
Yeah.
She should have gotten booed at the end of that match based off the story that was told.
And
because
so once again, she's like, shite.
She was acting heel the entire match, like working over Lyra's
chicken
arm.
Shit heel running, like
doing all of the stuff that like heels do. But then when she won the title, the whole arena went nuts.
Yeah.
So
Fickle.
I think it'll be interesting because when she came out on NXT,
that's where I have my issues.
Yeah,
for NXT.
She's trying her best to steer them in the direction that she wants them to go in. They're just not following her.
And it's not even that. I'm going to go ahead and say that what they're trying to make Lyra be is weird too. Mm-hmm. I think that is the part that threw me a lot. I was like, what are you doing? What do you mean? So essentially what happened on Tuesday is that Roxanne, talked a lot of smack, the normal, but she kind of insinuated that she was going to take this belt up with her. Yeah. And so then that's when Lyra came out and was like, no, that's not how you be a real champion. I'm like, what? Aren't you ambiguously good, bad too? I'm confused. Yeah. And now she's like, I'm the green fairy. I'm the blue fairy. I'm here to tell you how to be good.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's strange.
It was weird.
I'm again not quite sure where they're going to go with this.
Yeah.
I did not have Roxanne winning this.
Not at all.
I thought that she was going to lose and go up to the main roster, which her and Elia did. The Raw after Mania, they appeared on the show anyway with their titles, but
damn it, he really went up.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that they're actually on the show. I think they were just here's NXT titles.
Oh, okay.
Like how they do on the Raw after Mania, because they have a huge spike in viewership after WrestleMania.
Fair.
Right? Because they're like,
oh yeah,
you saw all the shit on WrestleMania. Let's watch Raw and see what happens. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it was. I don't think that they're actually on the roster yet. But I thought that she was definitely going to be one of those people that got Raw after WrestleMania debut.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see who goes for it, because Lyra is either really injured or kayfabe injured.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, I don't know. This was also kind of a strange story.
This was a weird written.
I think the match itself was technically great.
Gorgeous.
And had some really, really good spots in it. I would still urge you guys to go back and watch it. But
yeah, no, it was fantastic.
Story-wise, did not make any sense.
It fell flat.
Yeah.
It fell flat.
So I gave it a 3.5, just solely off of the in-ring work.
I said 3 equals, but 3.5 is
yeah.
fair.
Everything else just kind of fell apart.
Yep.
But so the semi-main was actually the NXT Championship match. So we had Ilya Dragunov versus Tony D'Angelo and The Family.
The Family.
Again, this was another match that I feel because we love Ilya. We stand Ilya, right?
Ilya's the best.
But this was not his best match.
Well, and I don't know if that's because there was no story really.
There was, but there were two competing stories going on at the same time. So you had Ilya's hand journey, right? Yes. Because he's been selling this hand.
He sells like a mofo, y'all.
You give this man this pen that I am holding right now, and he will give it a backstory, how long it's been in his family, and why it means so much to him, right? He could literally, what is it? I think Dog says something, he could put over a rake in the ring, right? He could do that.
Sounds like something he'd say.
Right? So if you tell him that that's what he needs to do, he's going to do it. But he had that going on. And then you also had Tony's conflicting bad guy, good guy thing going on, where Stax was trying to get him to cheat the whole time.
Yeah, but
he wouldn't do it.
But then the whole time up leading to this was I could throw you in the river and they'd never find your body. And it's okay.
And now all of a sudden
you can't threaten him, and then all of a sudden,
now we don't want to be the Don anymore.
I threaten your life, but I'm going to do it because I'm a good guy.
I really don't know if this is going to be them trying to break the family up.
I feel like there are a lot of other ways.
But Tony was not on NXT on Tuesday.
He was not.
So I don't know if that was intentional or if they just gave him the night off.
No, they said that. That's right.
He was in Boca.
He was in Boca. He was relaxing in Boca. And they emphasized that, the Boca.
Yeah. But I think it'll be interesting going forward.
We'll see.
Because that was really all that I had down. That there were just two conflicting stories going on at the same time, and neither one of them involved each other.
Yeah.
Right? So Tony worked over the hand a little bit, but if you have this guy who is taped up to the 9s on his hand,
Yes.
that's a target,
Like, ooh.
right? And if you are supposed to be the heel in this match, because Ilya is oddly a face,
Like,
right? Because you
yeah.
would, on paper, he is definitely like not,
No.
right?
He's like...
But he has, the crowd has
He's
gotten
like
behind him.
Amadeus.
Very much so. You don't really know where he lands,
Yeah.
right? So
Sorry, intense reference there.
very intense, pulling out an Amadeus reference. Very specific. But you have this target and you're supposed to be a part of a heel faction. But I don't know if it's ever really been established that they are truly a heel faction.
Yeah.
Because they've just kind of been there as a gimmick faction.
And that's the thing. Once again, they have fallen into the trap of we were supposed to be bad and then everyone loved us.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of what NXT falls into sometimes.
Yeah, it's been in this like little slump about that lately.
Well, because they really do listen to the crowds, which is good. But then when you are putting matches together, you run into the Roxanne fallacy again, right? Where like you have these people, because I feel like Adam Cole also suffers from this sometimes, because he in most of his career has been a heel.
Yes.
Right?
Very good one,
I would
in fact.
say the best parts of his career have been when he's been a heel or with a heel faction of some sort. People will cheer for him regardless of whether he's a heel or a face.
He's like the MJF.
Right. So that's also a thing.
Another thing.
Right?
Example.
Like how the crowd can change who your character is and where they lean, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like with the family, they were trying to get him to cheat. Stax in particular was trying to get him to cheat the entire time. And then he doesn't do it and he loses because he loses focus.
Yes.
But you also had Ilya who was telling the story with his hand.
Yeah.
Which didn't need to be told. It
was there. You could sprinkle it.
Yeah, you could have him like milk the hand injury a little bit, but like Ilya was selling it to the fucking moon.
That's all he
right?
had.
And but I don't know. It didn't make much sense to me, and I think the match kind of suffered from it.
I agree. It felt lackluster, and I really love Ilya Dragunov. Y'all know how much I love this crazy Russian.
Yeah, and he retains, but this sounds really weird and really silly, but I don't feel anything.
Yeah,
right? Because
no, I
with
get
Ilya
that.
matches, they're always so emotional. Like you think back of his matches with Walter and with like other people in NXT UK, and even with people here in regular NXT, like you really are just like, oh my gosh, like this dude is going to die if he does not win this match. He either wins or he dies. Like that is how high the stakes are. And I just
there were no stakes here.
Mm-mm.
And that's exactly because my brain, while you were talking, and I was like, he's an underdog. There has to be just a little, an actual moment of like, oh shit, like could he lose this? I didn't feel that at all with this match.
Yeah, and so I think the natural progression is Trick Williams.
Well, they did bring that up. Yep.
And I think that's who's going to dethrone him.
Yeah.
Because I think they are setting him to go and have a call up.
Which is crazy.
What I want, and I think I said this the last time, him and Gunther. Right? Triple H has such this. I'm not going to say what I was going to say because that's really foul. But really likes them. Fill in the dots. But like, I feel like he really loves them together. So
I mean, they're great.
They are. So I think that's what's like long term. Like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think it's unfortunate because I do think that it suffered a little bit, and I'm kind of happy it wasn't the main event because
I think they knew
that would have been kind of a bummer to end on. I think.
Yes.
As we go to our actual main event, which was Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes.
Did we get that? I'm sorry.
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
3. Yeah. 3.5.
I just really want to talk about this one.
This is great.
So we have Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes.
Oh man.
And
Two very attractive men.
Yeah.
They're just pretty
But also, like,
and talented.
this feud, I feel like, has really just been one of the, like, on the level of Gargano and Ciampa.
Yeah.
Like, they it's the whole,
I'd do
like,
anything
yeah.
to murder you.
Yeah, and I feel
It is
like
real.
if they were able to let this go on longer, and maybe they will, I don't know.
Man.
It could reach that level of Gargano Ciampa, because it's the whole, like, okay, are they going to be friends again? Are they not going to be friends again? But now we're in the first chapter of all that, right? So, like, or the first book in the series.
Yes.
Right? So, you know, this is supposed to be a culmination of a blood feud.
Yes.
What I wish is that, you know, your girl loves a stipulation. You were talking about stipulation heavy earlier. This should have had a stipulation to it.
Yes. This one.
That's my only complaint. Only complaint about this match.
Something
because
like crazy about it.
like a cage match.
Yeah.
Or a 2 out of 3 falls, or a falls count anywhere, or whatever.
Exactly.
I would have taken a no DQ. I don't care. Like, this needed something, because the stakes are already high.
Yeah.
But this is already grown to a level.
This is their first match actually ever wrestling now as enemies.
Which I think is why maybe
They were like,
and maybe we're building to something more than this. Maybe Carmelo isn't going up.
I wouldn't mind War Games. I
Yeah.
would not mind a War Games.
Yeah, and have like them be captains. But I don't know. War Games is not an NXT thing anymore.
Such bullshit.
NXT is now a Survivor Series thing. So
Wait, hang on.
unless they do,
Let's do some math here.
that's in November.
They could both get called up.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't want them to yet.
Oh,
Like,
no.
I kind of want this feud
They're gonna have
to continue here.
they're gonna have nothing.
That's what I mean. Like, if they have
NXT 's
everybody
gonna be
go up.
barren.
But so what I'm thinking, if they didn't have a stipulation for this one, which I think they should have had something, right?
Just like a street fight.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be anything big.
No.
But like, maybe this is building to more matches with them, and then eventually we'll get to the cage match.
Like, they can't.
Or
This is it. This is all that we have.
Right.
A classic.
Right.
But
But
it would have been a War Games.
I mean, I don't know. I really felt like this pay-per-view as a whole really had like your best of the best. Like, even though we had some complaints about the matches, like, I feel like everybody who was here, like, these are the best people that we have on the roster, which obviously culminates in Trick and Mello being the main event.
Like,
right?
Pinnacle. Yeah.
Because you had Lyra and Roxanne.
Yep.
You had Elia and
Tony.
and then even the 6-woman tag.
Yeah.
Those women are all still really good.
Yes.
And I feel like we're now getting back to that. Like, if you're going to be top of the top, you're going to be on the pay-per-view.
Yes.
Like, that's what you have to work for to get on the pay-per-views. But I feel like with, like, you had the ref bump in this match, which
Good stuff.
I love it and I don't at the same time. I feel like it
Really?
is so overused now.
I feel like WWE loves that
I
stuff.
feel like Roman Reigns has killed the ref bump spot.
I feel like those refs should be dead.
Dude.
Concussed.
Especially after, what was it, night 2?
Oh my
Where we had like so
gosh.
many people, like everyone should have been dead after that match.
DED dead.
But so you had like the ref bump, and then you immediately had another ref just materialize. Like, he just came like so he was like,
Beam me up, Scotty.
were you into the ring? Were you waiting? I feel like there was somebody who was waiting. Either
What were you doing down there?
I mean, either
Were you chilling with the kendo sticks?
Either he was down there underneath watching it on a monitor, or he ran like the wind.
Like a mofo.
Like, I don't know. He just appeared out of nowhere. But I don't know. Like, I enjoyed this match. I feel like this is one you should definitely go and see.
Oh.
But to me, it didn't have the, like, this is a feud ender kind of vibe that I felt like they were building it to be.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that there's more to come.
Yes.
So I think what's going to happen.
I think it'd be crazy if they didn't.
Oh, absolutely, because this is who's hot right now.
Yes.
Right?
What is it? What is it that
Trick and Mello are so hot right now.
That's so hot. That's so hot. Isn't that what Paris Hilton says?
Oh, that we're making two different references.
Oh,
I was making a Zoolander reference. I was definitely not going for a Paris Hilton.
that's so hot. That's what she says.
So gross. Sorry. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I gave it a 4 just because I feel like if we are going to have more matches in this feud in the future, then okay, I'm okay with it not feeling like a feud ender. But the way that they built it up, it just made it seem like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe they did that because they don't know what their statuses are. You know, so
like they have to wait.
Yeah, so if one of them does go, then maybe they're like, okay, we did enough.
So that makes sense as to then, because I think you were going down on Tuesday at this point. But
because I have a child and I'm tired.
yeah, no judgment, no judgment whatsoever.
No, I was not to you. That was to the crowd, just so no one judges me.
But Dragunov came out, and Trick was talking to him. He's like, "I'm coming for that."
Okay.
And so then he goes, "I'm coming for that, and I want my rematch." And Dragunov,
so we're setting both up. Okay.
So Dragunov was like, "You kind of failed earlier, so I don't think I should give you one." And it was like the weirdest thing because Trick said one more thing back to him, and he's like, "Oh, okay, well then we can do this in 2 weeks." And I'm like, "What? Wait, what? What?" It's the next pay-per-view, whichever that is.
Sounds like someone ran out of time during their segment,
bro,
and they just had to wrap it up.
It was weird. So yes, that is what is going to be going forward. So
okay.
I think that Dragunov and Trick are at least staying for a little bit.
I like that.
I do too.
Because
I don't want Ilya to go. I worry that they're going to squash him. They're not going to use him.
Yeah, but like what else is there for him to do?
I know.
He's gone through everybody.
He's won.
You know, there really isn't anybody else besides Trick.
I know.
And I feel like it's his time. Just
it's
like how
rough.
it is with Braun. Like it's Braun's time to go. You
Braun
know, like you feel it, and if you've been watching as long as we have, you kind of can you feel like you know when it's time for people.
Yeah.
I thought I did with Braun, and then I was wrong on that one, but now I definitely feel like there's nothing else for you to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, and I felt like everybody was on their game. I mean, obviously, like this is the biggest show of the year for NXT. I don't think it really hindered too much that it was technically like an early day.
No.
You know, because I feel like
we had time to chill before we went over, and, you know, but we had enough content. We didn't have to have like 700 matches.
No, but that's what I think the beauty of takeovers is that Triple H has built a model on how to do pay-per-views, right? Because 2.5 hours, you're in and out. You got 6 matches on the card, including the pre-show.
Yeah.
And you're done, right? So I think overall, I mean, I gave the whole pay-per-view a 3.5, but I think that was because it just suffered from some lack of story.
I was going to say
we
that
had
exactly.
we had big fight feels, but I don't think it really set things up for the future, which WrestleMania, which I say it in air quotes because this is our WrestleMania.
Yes.
Like that's what it is kind of supposed to do. Like with the end of night 1 with Cody winning. Yes. Like it ended that story and it started something new that same night, right? So yes, we are now officially our chains are gone, we've been set free. Like, you know, but I feel like this show in general didn't necessarily set up a lot for future stuff. No. It just was a fun show to watch.
Yeah, and having had this is the first one where I kind of felt like this was lackluster.
Yeah, this was
because
definitely
every wrestler is capable. But story fell flat.
Yeah. But are you ready for segments?
Are you ready for it? Yes.
Are you ready for it? Yeah. Okay, Shawn Michaels. So who is Gina Brafford's ignorant slut for Stand and Deliver?
The writers.
Oh, we getting meta. Okay.
I cannot fault anyone else for a shitty job. I can't. everyone came to bat. They were all there trying their damnedest with what they had.
Yeah.
And I can never fault an actor when that happens in a show. When it's clearly, I'm not going to say bad direction. I don't know. But something, it was really lackluster overall when I know that it could have been better.
Okay.
It's just constructive criticism.
That's fair.
It's a little feedback. But honestly, the writers, that was about it.
I think that's the first ever segment award to the writers.
Yeah, no,
I think that we've ever done.
I've done some other meta crap, before.
Right.
But
during the 2.0 era, I'm sure there was a lot of meta.
One of
stuff.
them was also the placement of one of the cards, like one of the
Oh,
spots.
yeah.
It was like, no, this should have been like, yeah, But no, this one's for the writers. Sorry, I'm breaking kayfabe here.
Mine is Sean Spears, and I know this is harsh, right? But you got to figure something out.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you could argue that it's direction that he's being given, but he is a very tenured wrestler at this point. He has gone away. He has done really great stuff, and now he's come back. He needs to figure out how to advocate for himself, because
Step it up, buddy.
you can't. What's going to happen is you can't just come in and be like, oh, I'm friends with Cody, so that's going to give me good spots, right?
Don't get me started on someone else who did that during WrestleMania. But anyways,
right,
yes,
yeah. So it's very similar, right? Because you have him coming in, and I think he maybe and again, I don't know him. I'm not speaking for him. I'm just saying, it seems like to me that maybe he expected that he was going to be given the red carpet treatment, and
interesting.
He really hasn't, and he really, when he came in, people freaked out initially, but he really hasn't done much else with it.
Well,
so I hope you make it off this list, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
But you
in your chair.
I don't. I'm sorry. I don't get it, and we can talk about that on a different show. But I really hope that he can figure something out, and we can not just keep having him on pre-show matches or not have him on pay-per-views at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But yeah, sorry, Sean.
So Shelby Ray Patterson, who is your EST?
Josh Briggs.
Damn it, you stole mine too. We are in agreement.
Yes. So Josh Briggs, congratulations.
You did fantastic, my man. Seriously.
I was so impressed with this dude,
yes.
and
Please recover
hope that
so you can come back.
Fuse those bones back together. Whatever it is you need to do,
graft them.
Will it back, manifest it. I don't know.
Please just tape the shit out of your ribs,
which is probably what's gonna happen. Poor guy.
Tape them up.
But I feel like he was such a sleeper going into this match, and I don't think people even remotely estimated the shit that he was going to pull out. And I'm happy. I'm happy that he had the best match of the night, and he was in that, but he also contributed to it being best match of the night.
Yes.
But
10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he came to bat. He was ready to show what he was made of.
Yeah. Well, I hope that we did a good job of wrapping up this WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, because Lord have mercy.
There's a lot of content, y'all.
Woo!
And I hope you appreciate all the work that we do, because it is a lot to watch all this stuff. Now, granted, we have a blast, but it's just...
Oh, darn, drinking Trulies and hanging out with friends.
It's a lot.
Oh,
well, thankfully, there was not also an AEW pay-per-view this weekend like there was the last 2 years, necessitating 3 back-to-back episode recordings.
No.
Very true, but that's coming in 2 weeks.
Well...
that's fine. That's fine.
You got
I'll take
2 weeks
2 weeks
to recover.
Yeah.
Because next is going to be AEW Dynasty.
That's
the next pay-per-view. I think the only match that's been announced so far, I think, is Ospreay Danielson.
Yes. That was announced a long time ago.
Yeah, but knowing AEW, there's going to be about 11 more matches that will be announced.
They also dropped in the middle of night, too, that they were going to be posting the video footage of what happened in the big fight. And we're not going to discuss it. It's whatever.
I want us to
that was
move,
little petty, guys.
I want us to move into a new era, which is us not having to discuss CM Punk drama on this show. I want it. I want it to happen. I'm not saying it's gonna.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the dude is technically not injured anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
So he'll be back on our screens, but
he's on.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I don't want it.
What's
No.
that Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Oh.
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, rest in peace.
But yeah, that's the next show. But
Yes.
I think we'll at least have a little bit of a content break at least from our side of things.
Yes.
I don't know about with you, David. I know you keep teasing.
I don't know about me either.
Us with different Long Walk
Just
Talk
dangling
episodes.
it right in.
I know.
Gross.
Gotta be quicker than that. What?
We're gonna.
Lord have mercy.
For those of us who don't know us in real life, Stan and Chris and I work together. We all have the same. We don't have the same job, but we all work at the same place.
Right.
So with the circumstances that's going on at our work right now, it's difficult for the three of us. We're down a person that we normally have, so we're having to cover a lot of things that we normally
that sucks.
not
That's the worst.
have to do.
Yeah.
So getting us in here at the same time was going to be difficult. So it's going to be probably a few weeks before we can get back to Long Walk Talks.
Well, it'll be ever the better when you guys come back.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Shelby, Murder Dimple, if people want to follow you on social media, where can
so
they do
full of
that
it.
at?
Before I tell our lovely listeners where to follow me, can I just tell a quick story about when my dad heard on the podcast you say Murder Dimple?
Your dad listens to this podcast?
He sure does. Hey, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Oh, Joe, I'm so sorry.
He was like, again, the man just had quadruple bypass surgery and he's doing great.
Yes.
He's having a great recovery and he's
kicking butt.
in therapy now and it's going really well. But in the hospital, this man looks at me and goes, "So Murder Dimple, huh?" And I said, "Daddy, I don't know. I don't know where it came from."
Robert Brafford.
He claims that it did not come from him.
I will go back and find it.
Oh, please edit it in at the end of this.
If I could remember which episode it was, he explicitly referred to you as Murder Dimple.
Oh
It was
my
the last like crossover episode that you guys did with him and Chris.
I
Oh my
still
gosh.
have no memory
None.
of this, but I don't trust my memory because I have a
Yeah.
10-month-old and you
Yeah.
can't trust anything that I've said.
I remember writing it down as soon as he said it so that I'd be like, Murder Dimple. I'm gonna bust
If
that
you
out.
can find that footage and put it at the end of this episode, that
Don't
would
kill
be
yourself,
amazing.
though.
Don't.
Oh, it's not going to happen to this episode. This episode's getting edited and put online like immediately.
Well, at some
But
point, it needs to
I'll
be
scrub-
found.
Yeah, I'll scrub through old episodes until I find.
But yes, shout out to Joe Ray. I love you, Daddy.
Aw.
But yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can do that at SlayAllRay.
All right, and Gina, what about you?
I am on Instagram, at Broadway_baby1218.
Nice. And if you want to follow me online, the best place to do that is on Instagram at DBHensley. If you want to keep up with Long Walk Productions, you can visit us online at longwalk.us. To see more of our original work or hear past episodes that are no longer streaming, you can follow the YouTube links in the show notes. Thank you very much for listening, and if you enjoy this show or any of the shows on the Long Walk Podcast Network, please make sure to leave us a rating and a review on whatever platform you are listening on.
Thank you, David. And thank y'all so much for listening to us. For This Is a Takeover, I'm Shelby Ray Patterson.
And I'm Gina Brafford.
And you don't have to be called up to the main roster. You're doing fine where you're at.